Now, Bernie Sanders had a tense meeting with House Democrats that left him being booed by some of his colleagues. Now, this was an article reported in Politico. I want to read some of that to you. They said, with the Democratic convention just weeks away, Sanders still hasn't endorsed one-time rival Hillary Clinton and dodged questions about when he would during a tense meeting Wednesday morning with House Democrats. Sanders also stunned some of the Democrats in attendance when he told them that winning elections isn't the only thing they should focus on. Well, golly gee, isn't that amazing? See, it kind of shows the problems with our political system. I love how Politico has to point out that politicians were stunned that, what do you mean that somebody would actually say that, winning elections isn't the only thing that you should be doing, that you should focus on? Wow, amazing that somebody would actually put changing the country for the better over stupid electoral horse race politics. No, really. I love that. It continues. While they wanted to hear about how to beat Donald Trump and how Sanders might help them win the House back, he was talking about remaking the country. Quote, the goal isn't to win elections, the goal is to transform America. Well, how dare you, Bernie Sanders, not talk about helping us in Congress get reelected? And the country? Who cares about remaking the country? We've got to get reelected. And we've got to make sure Hillary Clinton gets elected. Why are you not playing ball, Bernie? You lost. Endorse Clinton now. Endorse, endorse, endorse. Jesus Christ, man. Really? Look, Politico reports that some Democrats booed Sanders for saying that the goal isn't to win elections but to transform America. They say that it plays better on the campaign trail than in a room full of elected officials. Well, maybe that's the problem with elected officials. Shouldn't they also be trying to transform the country for the better? To do things that are better? No. It's all about keeping their jobs. That's what it seems to be. Now, of course, they're going to be, especially since House Democrats overwhelmingly supported Hillary Clinton during the presidential primary. One anonymous Democrat told Politico it was frustrating because he's squandering the movement he built with a self-obsession that was totally on display. Self-obsession. Now, I know self-obsession, right? You could just look at Donald Trump and see that on display. Full display, right? Because all he does is talk about how fantastic he is and how tremendous he is and how he wins all the time. So what did Bernie Sanders talk about? Politico reports that after Sanders delivered his opening remarks, which touched on his favorite issues, which also happened to be everyone else's favorite issues, if you go poll by poll through the country, you would find that there's a lot of support for, campaign finance reform, Wall Street reform, and making sure to get trade that's not free trade, that's actually fair trade. Lawmakers pressed him during a tense question and answer session after he said those things on whether he would ultimately endorse Clinton and help foster party unity. See, that's ironic, right? Sanders goes up and talks about the issues that the American people feel strongly about, and issues that he feels strongly about. His issues are our issues. And he talks about that in the House, and Democrats say, yeah, whatever. You gonna endorse Hillary Clinton yet? You gonna help us get reelected yet? I mean, come on, that's the only thing we actually want you here for. We want you to go out and energize these voters and then deliver them to us without us having to lift a finger to do anything. That's your job. And Bernie Sanders is straight up saying, that's actually not my job. My job is to transform the country, not to help you get reelected. And here's the other thing. Do they actually know the definition of self-obsession? Just kind of curious on that. Anyway, I love this part in the article where it says, House Democrats didn't seem very impressed with the unapologetic Sanders, who didn't yield an inch despite the rough handling he received. You goddamn right. Being unapologetic and not yielding an inch on the policies that he and the American people care about is exactly why people love Bernie Sanders. And these people, they don't get it. They don't get it. Because to them, the people in the House, the Democrats, it's all about electoral politics. So they don't understand a man that actually cares about the issues. It literally boggles their mind to see someone like Bernie Sanders. Like, they don't understand it at all. Now, for his part, Sanders, being the gentleman he is, told CNN's Wolf Blitzer that about the booing. Oh, don't worry about that. We just look at the world a little bit differently, I'd say. And at one point, one Democrat asked, "When are you going to run as a Democrat? This is the Democratic caucus." And see, this is the mindset that I really, really hate. That you have to play for a certain team. That you're playing team politics. I'm on Team Democrat. We all must agree. We must have party unity and elect Hillary Clinton. Well, not everybody on Team Democrat agrees with the goal of the team. And that somehow the team is more important than actually the policies, which we're supposed to be standing for. And it always irritates me when people say, but hey, he's not a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. You know what? Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares, man? It's as Sanders says, which he got booed for, by the way. Elections are not necessarily about winning, but about transformations. But the Democrats there, they don't understand. They don't get it. To say as he did, that the goal is to not win elections, this is that anonymous Democrat that talked to Politico, to say as he did, that the goal is not to win elections, but for people to embrace his ideas, is disconnected from what we are trying to do here. He had a chance to talk about getting things done, and instead talked about prolonging his process. No, you schmuck. It's his ideas on how to get things done. It's what you should be talking about. How to get things done. How to get to universal health care. How do we get there? How do we get there? Let's have a conversation. How do we reform Wall Street? How do we make trade more fair? Okay, so that it doesn't cause, like NAFTA, old manufacturing jobs to go overseas to lower lower wage countries. How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we still have trade but have it be fair? How do we raise wages and control the debt? That's stuff that we should be talking about. That's stuff that Bernie Sanders talks about. Talking about how to get progressive things done. Instead, it's, I want to, that's not what we do here. What we do here is we talk about how to advance Team Democrat and get Hillary Clinton elected. You're missing the point, dude. Totally missing the point. In fact, Bernie Sanders afterwards had a message for House Democrats. He says, quote, "My message was a simple message. We've got to fight for the needs of the middle class and working families of this country. We've got to get people involved in the political process. We've got to get a large voter turnout. And if we want a larger voter turnout, Democrats will regain control of the Senate. And I believe they're going to take the House back." He's pointing out exactly what you need to do. Hey, if you want the American people to follow you, maybe you should appeal to them. Maybe you should run on these progressive priorities that made me incredibly popular with young people, with independents, with even Democrats. Run on these incredibly popular positions. And the Democrats are going, no, let's not. No. How do we get Hillary Clinton elected? Well, you idiot. The answer's right there. You adopt progressive positions. And then you follow through with them. I know. What an amazing concept. You idiots, you're not getting it. As far as the self-obsession, did any of that sound like self-obsession to you? Or someone who is actually willing to actually fight for you? If you think the former, well, then you might just belong to Team Democrat.